Okay, we'll go ahead and get started with our post-race press conference. We're now joined by Brad Keselowski, driver of the number 22 Discount Tire 40, finished second in today's O'Reilly Auto Parts Challenge. This is 12th top 5 finish here at Texas Motor Speedway in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Brad, talk about your run and then just trying to catch Kyle there at the end.
Yeah, it was. We had a really strong car. We made a major stride forward with this team and this program, which feels really good. I'm, of course, very happy about the speed that we had and being able to lead a lot of laps, and then a little disappointed to not bring it home there at the end. But it was all in all a good weekend for the 22 Discount Tire Ford Xfinity team.
We'll go to our questions. We'll start down here with Reed.
Reed Spencer, NASCAR Wire Service. What was the difference today? Was it the push he got from Elliott on that last restart?
Yeah, I haven't seen the replay, but from what I can tell, yeah, whatever car got out in front with the way the aerodynamics are was, just going to control the pace. It's so hard to pass because the aero is so important and the cars are so equally done with that. So I thought we were maybe just a touch faster, but without the track position, it was, you lose too much grip behind the guy to do anything.
Go up to the press box.
One question for you, Brad. Wolfgang Monza, Rennsport Press Agency, Germany. Despite that the Xfinity cars are totally different than Sprint Car and you have a longer distance tomorrow, is there anything you can take into advantage for tomorrow's Sprint Cup race from this race?
Always, my friend Wolfgang, always. But I'm not going to tell you what, and I know that's what you want to ask, but that's why I'm here.
Daniel.
Dale McFadden, NBC Sports. Just how important was this performance for the 22 program, given the struggles you've had going back to last year here?
Sure. It bodes really well for Ryan Blaney. What we really want to do is get Ryan to Homestead, to where he can just have a solid day and win the Owners' Championship. And this puts him in position to do that. Of course, we've got to have another good week at Phoenix, and we're hoping just to get a win to do it. But it still bodes very well for him. And the confidence and momentum, of course, builds in the shop and with the team that, hopefully spurs on to even more greater things.
Back to Stan.
Okay, Brad. Stan Kriegman outside the box. Let me ask the question a little different, if I can. Do you feel what you learned today will be substantial to your run tomorrow?
Yeah, it's always hard to tell. I kind of feel like with these races you build a playbook and you might not need that play tomorrow, but it'll come back somewhere. And, that expertise, that knowledge that you get from these experiences, it always finds its way in somewhere. So, I hate to guarantee anything for tomorrow based off today, but you would assume so, that something's going to carry over for sure. No problem, Stan.
Any other questions? Brad, thank you very much. Best of luck tomorrow.
Have a great night. Thank you.
Going to continue. We're now joined by Daniel Suarez, driver of the number 19 RS Toyota, who finished 5th in today's O'Reilly Auto Parts Challenge. Daniel, talk about your run this evening and the momentum you guys have as you look towards the championship and next week at Phoenix.
Well, I think it was a good day. We have had better days and we have had worse days, obviously. Today was one of those days that I feel like we learn a lot. This racetrack is something that we thought that there is some stuff that we can learn from Homestead. So hopefully we learn some good stuff. We go back home and study everything and hopefully learn something from this. And overall, another top 5. We had some issues through the race, some electrical issues that I was a little worried about to finish the race or not. But luckily, we were able to finish the race and with another top 5.
We're also joined by Eric Jones, driver of the number 20 GameStop Call of Duty Toyota, who finished 4th in today's O'Reilly Auto Parts Challenge. Eric, talk about rebounding today with a strong finish and moving forward as you look to qualify for that championship 4.
Yeah, it was a good day for us. Just didn't have the car I think we needed to go up there and run with, especially the 22. I thought he was kind of the class of the field all day, and then the 42 ended up sneaking in there, but just didn't have what we needed. The GameStop Camry was all right, and I thought we'd be a little bit faster, honestly, after qualifying, but just couldn't really couldn't really make it any better. It seemed like everything we did, I thought it was driving, the way it needed to be. We just didn't have the speed. So overall, a decent day, and nice to finally have a good chase race where, we gained some points and made forward progress.
Let's start down here with Lee.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. Daniel, did your team diagnose what was wrong with your car as far as the battery, and did you go that second battery?
Yeah, it was the alternator. The alternator, for some reason, broke very early into the race. Is why I was worried. We had more than halfway into the race. And after that, obviously, I had to shut down pretty much everything and trying to use my battery as less as possible. And maybe 40 laps to go, the battery was pretty much gone, and I swapped to the second one to finish the race. So we were a little lucky that we had that issue right in the middle of the race, because maybe, I don't know, 20, 30 more laps, and who knows if we were going to finish the race or not.
And how well do you can both answer this, how well do the two of you get along and rely on each other as far as battling for the championship? Because, there's been ups and downs on the Cup side lately.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I think we get along very well in the racetrack and out of the racetrack as well. And it's always good for me to have teammates that share information, that obviously are as fast as Eric, and we can race each other every weekend. We pretty much we cross each other every weekend, if it's for position or for something else. But well, I think we do a good job, sharing information and making our cars better.
Yeah, I think Daniel and I found a really good balance of, racing on the racetrack and being able to share information off the racetrack as well. And Daniel helps me, I help Daniel, and not just Daniel, but Matt Tiff, whoever the teammate is, whatever weekend, we're always helping each other. So I think it's a good balance. Obviously it's a tough situation, when you're both racing for the championship. But when you get to Homestead, I think, hopefully we're both fortunate enough to make it there. I think we'll obviously still share information throughout the weekend, but, when it comes time to race, we're going to race. I don't think it's a tough situation. It's so much different than any other points format that there's ever been, but I think we've got a great way of working together throughout the year and throughout the weeks.
Back, Stan.
Stan Creekmore with Outside the Box. Daniel, even though you had the battery problem in the race, did you actually perform better than you thought you might perform, considering all the issues you had throughout practice?
No, actually, I thought I was going to be even better than that. In one point of the race, when we were racing the 22 for the lead, a little bit there, I thought we were going to the right direction, but for some reason, when we were having, the racetrack was changing a lot. When we were under caution, for some reason, all the rubber was being picked up, and the racetrack was changing so much, and I don't know if we didn't make the right adjustments or if it was just what we had, and we didn't have the speed like Eric mentioned. I'm not really sure. We in some points of the race we were very good, and even with that I wasn't able to lead the race. I was a top 3 car, and when we were okay, we were a top six car. So I think it was pretty much what we had, but after practice and everything, I thought I was going to be a little bit better.
Chris.
Chris Knight, catchfans.com. Daniel, you go to Phoenix next weekend. You've run well there in the past. What's your goal? What's your mentality going there? Are you guys just going to try to go out there and win, or are you guys just going to go out and just try to points race?
Well, Phoenix is a good racetrack for us as a company. I think the last race there we finished 1, 2, and 3. So I think we have to go out there, try to put ourselves in a good position, and do exactly the same thing that we've been doing in the last month and a half, trying to take the opportunities when we can to win the race, and if not, trying to finish in the top 5. I think we had a string right now of, I'm not sure if 5 or 6 top 5s in the last month and a half, and that's something really good. So we just have to do the same thing, and after that, put everything we have and everything that we've been learning in the entire year for Homestead.
And I know you went to Mexico during the break. How was that trip to Mexico? And can Can you talk about just the support that you have from your home country about being a part of this first ever chase?
It's really cool. Obviously, I don't get to see I don't get to see my family very often because they are far away. And after that long string of races between Xfinity Series and Truck Series, I spent more than 6 months out of Mexico, without traveling to Mexico. So I was really looking forward to that. I had a really good time over there. I feel like that I really needed that off time. And overall, I feel like it's it's always good to have a little relaxed time. But for now, we have to go back to work and try to do our best for the last two.
Daniel?
Daniel McFadden, NBC Sports. Eric, with the success you had in the first half of the season, would you have expected that at this point in the chase, you'd be having to talk about having a good points day?
No, not really. I mean, we had quite a bit of success there through the beginning and the middle part of the season. Kind of some ups and downs throughout the year. Just been kind of a weird year in general. Some odd circumstances took some wins away from us, and some mistakes I've made have taken some wins away from us. So it's just kind of an odd year, and it's carried over into the chase some too. We've had an odd chase as well. So yeah, I wish we would have run a little bit better here in the last round. But at the end of the day, we've got to play the hand we're dealt, and I think we've done a good job of that. We've made it this far, so with 2 races left, we just need to keep doing that, and can't have any more bad days from here on out. We need to have a good day at Phoenix and have a really, really good day at Homestead, and I think we'll be in a good spot.
Any additional questions? Up here in front, Skylar.
Skylar Dixon, Associated Press. Eric, with just 1 race left in the elimination round, nobody's won to wrap up a spot. Does that change much? There was the earlier question. Does it become completely points racing now, or is there still chasing a win?
Yeah, it's more points racing, I think, than it would intend to be. Obviously, I think you'll see a big change next year with the new rules they put in place there with the Cup drivers. I'll be honest with you, the toughest part of our chase is racing the Cup guys. Had there been no Cup guys in the race, we would have won today and advanced. So it's definitely a tough balance. That's by far the hardest part, racing those guys. They've got nothing to lose, but at the end of the day, yeah, we're still going to chase a win, but there's also going to be Cup guys in the field that are going to be able to make moves that I'm not going to be able to make. So you still got to be points racing and thinking about advancing at the same time. So I think when we get to Homestead, yeah, we'll be able to gun for it. You won't see any Cup guys in that race. So I think that's when the format of winning will really come into play, is whoever makes it, the 4 that make it to Homestead.
Eric, you mentioned this has been a weird year. For you, since I guess maybe the halfway point of this year, what's been the weirdest thing that's affected your second half of the season so far for you?
Just a lot of ups and downs. I think it's hard to, you look back in the year, and I think we've had some of the highest crash rates of anybody, which is unfortunate with the speed we've had. So it's just been a year of trying to balance that speed and aggression, where there's been times where I've been over-aggressive and made moves that I shouldn't have made and got into trouble. There's been times where I've made moves and it hasn't ended up in trouble. So I've raced the same way I've raced for a long time. I think at times, though, you just don't get away with as many moves as you do at other times. So it's just been a strange year in the fact that we haven't had the consistency that I think we should have. Being as fast as we were throughout the middle part and beginning part of the year, I think we should have some more top 10s, some more top 5s, and probably a few more wins. We just weren't able to keep that consistency where we wanted it to be.
Back to Stan.
One quick follow-up. Daniel, when you talked about going home, the first thought is that when someone goes back to another country, they become overwhelmed with people who want to talk to them. Was there a nice balance at home of just being able to relax versus everybody who wanted to, touch you in some way?
Yeah, well, I guess I had to do both this time on this trip home, because it was we had the announcement for the new sponsor for the NASCAR Mexico Series in Mexico City, and I was invited to be there, and I went over there, and it was just unbelievable the welcome that I had from all the media. It was the last time I had a conversation with all those folks. It was a long time ago, at least a year or 2 years, and it was pretty cool to see the way that they wanted to talk to me, and you know that was something good. Obviously, that was away from half family, but after that, I had a few days or 4 days in home with family, without phones, almost, and I think that was something pretty cool to relax and to enjoy family and to put new batteries to move forward to the last string of races here in the U.S.
We got one final question over here, Don.
Don Murphy, Track Smack with Don Murphy. Daniel, being from South Texas and San Antonio, a lot of talk about this young kid from Mexico down there, of course, with the Toyota plant and stuff. And I'm just curious, would Texas, I'm sure Phoenix and California would like to say this, but do you kind of consider Texas a home track, so to speak? A lot of fan base coming up for it.
Yeah, for sure. Texas, I have like 40 people, family outside, just supporting me and having some fun through all the weekend, and it's just a lot of fun to have friends and family and cousins and all kind of family here in this race, because obviously this is the closest we are from Mexico. So I can call this like my home racetrack, because I just have a lot of family coming here to support me and to hang out, and but as well, you mentioned Phoenix, California, and all the West Coast. It's just my family doesn't, they don't get to get there very often. But it's unbelievable, all the support that we receive from all those folks and fans. So I'm just very lucky to be in this position, and hopefully I can still do this for a long time.
Cool, Daniel, Eric, thank you very much, and best of luck next week.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we're now joined by the winner of today's O'Reilly Auto Parts Challenge, Kyle Larson, driver of the number 42 Ineos Chevrolet, his 5th career victory in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, 2nd of the season, your first at Texas Motor Speedway. I know you've come so close here before and winning. Talk about finally coming through in victory lane.
Yeah, I think I've been close a couple times. Yeah, we should have won this race last year and cut a tire late. But, yeah, today was a fun race. I couldn't fire off very good at all. I was too tight. And I know Mike was probably getting frustrated hearing me say the same stuff on the radio all race long, that I was too tight. But he kept adjusting on it and got it better. And actually, once we got to clean air, I was a little bit too loose out front. So was worried, with Brad coming behind me. I wasn't sure with me being loose to fire off the run how I would be on the long run. But was able to get up top and get rolling up there. Was a little bit loose up top, and actually got loose and got into the wall one time and flattened my right side a little bit, or a lot of it, I'm sure he thinks. But it actually tightened my car up some, and I was able to be more comfortable up top there those last few laps. So fun race there. I know Brad probably had the best car, but long runs I felt like we were pretty even, maybe just a tick better, but clean air was big today, and our pit crew did an amazing job to get our Ineos Chevy out on the front row there for that final restart, and then Elliott Sadler gave me a heck of a push, which he's done all year whenever he's behind me. He helped me win Pocono and then here today, so definitely 0-1.
We're joined by winning crew chief Mike Shiplett. Mike, if you could talk, what's going through your head as you're watching your driver just inch from the wall, moving up to the top line and taking it there at the end?
Well, it's Kyle's always up there with the Ineos Chevrolet. He likes running up there. We made a point in practice to run on the bottom a little bit more during practice, but we still went up there. You cringe when he gets up there because he's inches away from anything. With a bumpy racetrack, it's a little bit harder. It's easy to lose the car. On a smoother track, it's not that big of a deal. But he knows what he's doing, and he gets the job done.
Going to open up for questions. If you could raise your hand, we'll get a mic to you. Start down with Pete.
Pete Horonis, Race Talk Radio here in Dallas. Kyle, when you hit the wall, for the next couple of laps, what's going through your mind? I mean, are you thinking, man, it happened again, or what?
Well, yeah, I got in the wall there, and I looked up in the mirror, and I was like, "Oh, great, here he comes. He's probably gonna have a big run and clear me into 3, and then take my line away." But I was able to have a big enough gap on him from when I did hit the wall that he wasn't able to get too close to me. It took me a corner, probably a lap to make sure I was all good, and then actually after that, like I said, I thought it tightened my car up and made it easier to drive up there. Probably changed the aero balance a little bit and got me tighter. And like I said, it was a little bit easier to drive. I was a little more careful too after that because I could see that Brad really wasn't closing in on me too much, so I didn't need to run right on the wall. He did get close to me there. I think with 2 to go, I got kind of bottled up in traffic, and he got close, and then just not close enough to throw anything at me the final corner. So, yeah, it was just a little bit looser there that last run since I was in clean air and made a mistake and got in the wall.
Stan?
Stan Creekmore with Outside the Box for the crew chief. So how busy are you going to be tonight talking with his Sprint Cup Series team to let them know what they need to do to make sure the same issues are not problems tomorrow?
We work very closely with the Cup teams, with both of our Xfinity teams. I'll either talk to them or text them, or they'll send me a message. If anything particular they're looking at, we do a debrief between the engineers so they know exactly what's going on. They were listening all race. They were in the pit box looking at the tires. So we share a lot of information back and forth, especially when the tires are the same.
Daniel?
Daniel McFadden, NBC Sports. As your crew chief says, he cringes every time you go up top against the wall. And it seems like every time you do that the last couple of years, something bad happens as a result of it. Even though you love it going up there so much, what makes you go back to the high line time after time after time?
I mean, I don't get in the wall every race, so I won Homestead last year. I mean, I got in the wall a couple of times, but I still won. But Xfinity cars are just really, at least for me, they're really easy to run up by the walls. So it seems like I can go a lot faster than most people up there. I can, enter higher. I can enter faster. There's more risk up there, but I can go. I feel like a half-second faster a lap when I run the top. So that's why I do it. It's a lot harder in the Cup car. Xfinity cars, you can actually hit the wall and, like I said, go faster the next lap. Cup cars, you can barely touch the wall and could ruin your race. So I don't seem to run the top as much in the Cup Series just because the risk is a lot bigger. But been trying hard this year to get better on the bottom. But I'm still able to run the top as good as I have in the past. But been trying to become a better all-around driver and move around. But today didn't have to. I was fast up top.
Go up to the press box.
Yeah, one question for the crew chief, Mr. Mike Shiplett. First of all, congratulations for the win. Wolfgang Monzer, Rennsport Press Agency from Germany. When Kyle took the lead, I think it was either lap 170 or 171, the pace was quite very fast. He was just hunted by Keselowski. You were not concerned about fuel consumption?
No, thanks for the question, Wolfgang. I met him today in the garage area. He's a really nice gentleman. No, at that point we had plenty of fuel. The biggest thing was just to manage our tires. We had freed the car up quite a bit to get them fired off on the short run. And we're just a little bit concerned about the long run, but we had such a good car on the long run, we felt we could give some up for the last 25 laps of that run. So we felt pretty comfortable, and Kyle did the rest.
Any other questions?
No more questions from the press box. Thank you.
Awesome. Any down here in the deadline room? Gentlemen, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.